Hi guys, I am TS Villa and I have just got back from the cinema from watching Superman. This, without trying to spoil stuff, I'm going to just talk about my feelings on this film and also what James Gunn has done with this version of Superman. I hope you enjoyed this review. It's going to be a short one, so please stick with me. If you like it, press the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about Superman.
Ready?
This Superman is something completely different that you've seen on TV, in the movies. This has been an absolute breath of fresh air to see this version of Superman that James Gunn has brought to life on our big screens. I really enjoyed the idea of the struggles he has, because we know Superman, he's undefeatable. Okay, he wins every battle, you know this about Superman, but then he has his struggles. This deals more with his struggles as Superman than you've ever seen in a Superman film before. I like the chemistry between Rachel Brosnahan and David Corn.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
I do like that chemistry. I think the chemistry is probably better than Reeve and Kidder. There was a scene where you can see it in the trailer where Superman Clark is being interviewed by Lois Lane. That whole scene there was, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the casting audition for the characters, because of how they interacted with each other. It was amazing. I could have watched the whole film just of that scene. To be fair, the chemistry was absolutely awesome, and I can understand why both actors were picked for those roles. If you guys are fans of James Gunn, then you know he was quoted a while ago saying there are certain things that you don't need to see anymore in films. The growing up with Superman, because we've seen this in Smallville, we've seen this in films so many times, we don't need to see it all again. So what James Gunn does right here is he throws us in to Superman, his third year of being Superman. So there's that awesome bit of text at the start of the film. If you have never seen a Superman film before, what? I know there are people out there who have never seen a Superman film before, but if you've never seen a Superman film before, then this text is just going to cover everything for you for the rest of the film. If you read every single word of this text, you're like, right, I am in this film right now. I know what's going on. I know what's happened. I think that was absolutely awesome, masterstroke, to have that at the very start of the film. These reviews are quite hard to do when you're trying not to say any spoilers. How do I not spoil this? Okay, so let's think of it this way. This is a DCU film, so not the EU. That's the old versions of the DC films. This is a brand new film. This starts a whole generation of films to come. And I think it does that. It really does that, because this is more like the animated Superman. So I've grown up loving Superman. I've got a Superman tattoo, guys. I've watched every single iteration of Superman. If you're a fan of those animated cartoons, then you're going to love this film, because it's going to be more on par with that. I found elements of this in Smallville. So I'm a massive Smallville fan. I love Smallville. I rewatch it every other year. It's absolutely awesome. Now, again, we won't go into spoiler territory, but I would say the Jor-El in this new Superman film is definitely similar to the one that we got in Smallville. Now, it is not a spoiler if you've not seen Smallville. So I think I might have got away with that one. This is 3 years into his journey as Superman, okay? So not as Clark Kent. This is as Superman, so the world knows him as Superman at this point, as we see in the trailers. And I think what is really good about this is he is struggling with a lot of things. He's struggling with being Superman, being good, making sure he doesn't kill people, trying to be as clever as possible in these fights, and trying to do the right thing, which is a Superman way. But there is a scene in this film that goes into detail in what makes Superman human, and he says it perfectly himself. You will know that scene. I absolutely love that scene. Speaking of scenes, we have a classic James Gunn action moment in this film. This is a Mr. Terrific only action scene, and I absolutely love this scene. This scene was absolutely incredible because it was just him. There was no other superheroes in this fight scene whatsoever. It was just Mr. Terrific, and I was watching it thinking, this is a classic signature James Gunn moment right now. We're going to have one of these in every single James Gunn film, and it worked. It really worked. Also, what worked was the comedy. Okay, so there's some straight comedy in there. There's some moments there where we're laughing as an audience, but it's not actually a joke to the characters themselves. Guy Gardner, I'll tell you what, Guy Gardner's the Green Lantern. He's the comic relief of this film, and most of the lines that go from him and everyone that reacts to what he says brings the comedy to the film, and I think that's quite good because it's not full action comedy. There are comedy moments, but it is more actions, it's more emotion. And talk about emotion, guys. That theme, the new Superman theme, and also the arrangement of the music in this whole film, just gives emotion. It just gives you emotions. You're listening to the music and you're like, oh, okay, I feel this right now. I feel this right now. And I think it was all perfectly placed in the whole film. Nicholas Hoult is the best Lex Luthor we've ever had in a film. Honestly, I mean, it's Gene Hackman, top. But Nicholas Hoult, man, Nicholas Hoult was so good. And he's in a lot of scenes as well. So if you were a Nicholas Hoult fan, you were going to get your money's worth watching this film. Has him as Lex Luthor. And I actually really like the fact that we are 3 years into this Superman character making himself known to the universe. And because of that, that has given Lex Luthor and the rest of the world 3 years to prepare for whatever. That is all I will say right there, because, that could have been a spoiler right there. Could have been a spoiler. All I will say is that Lex Luthor has been able to be Lex Luthor and this version of Lex Luthor because this is the 3rd year of Superman making himself known to the world. To give a shout out to Crypto the dog, Super Dog, absolutely incredible. I love it. Every single scene that he was in, stole the show. He was incredible. Like, he wasn't just straight, I'm gonna help Superman. There was reasons behind what he was doing when he was doing it, and I think that was definitely something that James Gunn is really good at with these animated animals, as we know in Guardians 3 as well. Briefly just mentioned earlier that if you know anything about James Gunn, then there's been some interviews out there, there's been some clips of what he's said, and he's also said that he doesn't want this DCU film franchise similar to the Marvel MCU, because the Marvel stuff, we get the end credits and then they tie into the next film, or they drop another character in that we've been waiting for, the teasing us. This is not something that James Gunn is going to do. But basically, what he wants to do is, with the end credit scenes, there are 2 end credit scenes, by the way, guys. With the end credit scenes, he wants to pay tribute to the film that you've just watched right there. So you're going to watch a film in this DCU franchise, and these end credit scenes are going to be kind of based on what you've seen in the film or characters you've seen in the film, which I think is a big step. It's a big step. I went to the film, I knew about what James Gunn was going to do, but even though I knew about that, I thought maybe it's a curveball. He stuck to his guns, no pun intended, and he's done what he said he was going to do, and that is going to be refreshing for the rest of the DCU films that we're going to get. So Marvel fans, MCU film fans like myself, we're not going to have the same feeling as we do at the end of a DCU film now as we do in an MCU film, where we're expecting a lot of stuff to build into the next characters that are going to drop. The DCU stuff is not going to be doing that. It's just going to be paying respect to the characters and the storyline we have just watched in that film right there. There is a scene, I mean, if you understand that, there is a scene that happens towards the end of the film, which, if you were teasing something, you probably would have dropped it into the end credit scene. But because James Gunn isn't, he dropped it into this scene instead. So, smart. Absolute smart. Did I have a good time watching this film? 100%. 100%. Massive Superman fan. You know, we showed you the tattoo. We know, the massive Superman fan. Absolutely love this. This felt Smallville to me, if I'm honest with you, because he was struggling to be Superman. He was struggling to be himself when he's got all this other stuff going on, the power of social media, the power of media, all this stuff is against him, and he's trying to be a good guy. He's trying to be Superman, the Superman that we know and love. I would give this an 8 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10. There are some things that I would change. I'm not going to say it right now because, again, there would be spoilers. But it is an awesome film to start the whole DCU franchise going. Yes, we have got these TV shows going on like Creature Commandos and the likes, but we are, talking about films right now, and this is the first film in this DCU franchise. And what a film to start with is Superman. Honestly, guys, that text at the start of this film, I was absolutely buzzing. I was absolutely buzzing that was in there because it was just like, it summed everything up. Like, you didn't have to watch anything before this. You knew exactly what happened, what Superman has been up to, and also why we got that very first scene that dropped. Let me know what you thought of Superman. I'm going to be doing these film reviews and TV reviews on this channel, so please drop a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought of Superman.